with that said, if someone wants to start us off, Jonathan, you can go ahead.
Hey, Matt. Hope you're doing well. With Christian's limited practice, are you a little optimistic that he could possibly be available for Sunday?
I'm not expecting him to play as of right now. We'll see how the next couple of days unfold. Obviously, today was a walkthrough, so he was able to do some things, but I'm not expecting him to play as we sit here right now.
Anybody else have questions for Coach?
Yeah, I'll go, Matt. Is that part of that due to the short week aspect of this?
Yeah, and I just haven't seen him, run yet, Joe. I mean, if he came out tomorrow and could really run, then I would probably turn my thinking. But just trying to, give you guys some direction, in terms of where I'm thinking. I just, I know he's improving, he's getting better, but on a short week, at least as of right now. Now, we'll practice tomorrow. We'll see if that changes in a positive direction. But I'm just not expecting it right now.
Let's go to Darren Gant for the next question.
Matt, you talked the other day about workload and being cognizant of getting guys enough reps. Last week, as you look into a short week later in the year, how do you kind of balance how much work to do, in a compressed time frame this week?
I think we just have to be smart about what we want to do at full speed. At the same time, there's a certain amount of reps that you have to get, especially coming off a game where, we did not feel like we executed at the highest of levels. So we will practice this week. We just got out there today, got a jump start on the game plan. We'll get out there and we'll put a couple solid days together and just count on the guys to really take care of their bodies and have themselves ready to go Saturday night.
Let's go to Sharon Thorson for the next question.
Hey, Coach, can you just talk about the challenge of going up to Lambeau to take on this Packers team that is obviously really the class of the NFC right now?
They're an outstanding team, an outstanding football team. I think when you think about the Green Bay Packers, I think you start with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the things that he can do on the football field are fantastic. He's got an amazing arm, elite pocket movement, unbelievable feel for the game, situationally smart. You try to sub, he'll get you a 12 men on the field. I mean, everything that you do, he puts you under duress. Outstanding players around him. Probably one of, if not the best wideout in the National Football League. They're just outstanding. And then you flip over the defensive side and Coach Pettin's group. Coach Pettin's a guy that I've respected for a long time, and they challenge you. They come after you, different personnel groupings. I mean, it's a really good football team, and we're going to go play them at home. So at the same time, what a great opportunity for us to play our best game. So we'll be excited to play Saturday night.
All right, let's go to Steven Toronto and then back to Joe Person.
Coach, on the subject of Lambeau, over the past couple of years since David Tepper bought this team, there's been talk of potential changes to Bank of America Stadium, and the topic of building a roof over it has come up. Right now, you guys are the only team in the division that doesn't play either in a dome or in a warm climate. Do you think being a team that plays outdoors is an advantage when it comes to your team's ability to play quote-unquote December football, whether it's at home or it's on the road like in Green Bay this weekend?
You caught me off guard because I'm from Pennsylvania and I spent some time in Buffalo. I consider this a warm climate, but it's a good question. I mean, I think as you build your team, you look at the elements, as you build the guys, you look at the things that you have, whether it's early in the year, how hot it is, later in the year, if you can get a little bit of cold weather, and you try to build your team around, your home field advantage, whether it's in a dome, whether it's, in the cold, in the snow, different elements. Obviously I love Bank of America Stadium. I love the city of Charlotte. I think it's a great fit. And I think, hopefully as we get teams to come play at home, hopefully we can get some cold weather games and build a team that plays well, in the cold.
And Matt, I guess Liram had a work visa issue. Wondered if you might expand on that, and then might you bring in one of those other kickers you worked out, or are you going to just roll with Joey?
I think we're just gonna, kind of stand pat for now. Roll with Joey. To be honest with you, I don't feel real super comfortable. I don't, I'll let him handle his situation. It's probably a little bit beyond me in terms of the details of it. I just caught the tail end, and unfortunately, he, had to go handle some things personally, so he's not with us right now. So I was really impressed with him. So we'll see what happens when he comes back. But yeah, Joey will be the answer for us right now.
Go to Jonathan Alexander.
Man, I want to say we asked you this, but I can't remember. Sorry if we did. But what do you think about the prospects of Jeremy Chinn possibly winning Defensive Rookie of the Year or being in contention?
Well, yeah, I haven't really thought about him winning it. I've been so kind of focused on what we're doing, team wise. That being said, I love when our players get recognition. I think Jeremy's been an outstanding rookie player, tremendously humble, works really hard, makes a ton of plays. So I don't know who else is in contention for it. I'm just kind of so not bogged down, but caught up in what I'm doing. But I can think of no finer representative of an award like that than Jeremy, both with his play and with who he is as a person.
All right, let's go to David Newton and then Elena Getzenberg.
Matt, it's kind of following along those lines, but another player. What would if Pro Bowl's coming out soon? What would be your argument for Brian Burns to make the team?
I haven't thought too much about all these questions, I'll be honest with you. So I've been so focused on just the Packers. That being said, I always want to stand up for our players, So I think Brian's had a really good year, both at linebacker and at defensive end. He's made a lot of impact plays. I think he's an outstanding young player who's done a lot of good things for us this year and is deserving of any and all recognition that he gets.
Sorry. I was just curious. Am I going to go, Preston? Yeah. Sorry. I was just curious from last week with bringing the guys off the COVID list and then having them play in the game. Did you learn anything from that you think you could use this week with guys potentially coming back? Or are you kind of just expecting to play it by ear?
I think the thing I said to you guys last week was, taking it, piece by piece, player by player. I think most of the guys who came off the COVID list did a nice job in the game. We'll wait and see what happens if anyone comes off it this week and kind of just, take it again, player by player, case by case.
And then I was curious at cornerback, there was a lot of rotation this past week. Do you have like two clears? Is it Rhule and Dante for Saturday or Troy? What is your plan at corner? We're going to practice next couple of days and see who practices the best and kind of see where we feel that position is right now.
Let's go to Steve Reed and then Mike Slarte.
Hey Matt, can you elaborate a little bit on Jeremy Chinn? I mean, you talked about him, kind of coming in a very mature player. Just maybe I wonder if you can give us maybe an example or two of what kind of stood out with him early on that you thought maybe he was going to be a heck of a player, as you've said.
There isn't much early on just because it was all virtual. I kind of met him when I met everybody else. I think the biggest thing that I've said a couple times is just, the fact that he's willing to play so many different positions, which once you do it adds to sort of the lure and the versatility. But a lot of guys sometimes aren't willing to do that because, when you play one position as a rookie in the NFL, it can be humbling. When you play three, it can be really humbling. And so, but his trust in us when we said, hey, we want you to play linebacker to start, sort of looked at us and said, whatever you need. And then, hey, you're going to play some safety too. Hey, you're going to play some will backer too. And he's done it. He's tough. He didn't play in the Chiefs game and he wanted to play and was right back the next week. He's battled through any and all injuries. I think the coolest part of the story is, he wasn't highly recruited, didn't have a ton of offers, didn't come out early, just a guy that's just developed and worked. And now here he is having a lot of success. And his success he's come by it the right way. So he'll continue to have that success, I believe, because he'll be consistent.
Can I follow up? Is there a player that out there that maybe or has played in the NFL that maybe he reminds you of any?
It's it's kind of funny. I mean, every time I think of Jeremy, I think of Steve Atwater, who I believe he's related to. So maybe that's why I think of him. But I think he's just a big, physical, run the alley safety who, in today's football, safeties can play all over the field now. So, he reminds me of him.
Coach Mike Solarte, Spectrum News 1. You touched on how complete Green Bay is, but it starts obviously with Aaron Rodgers. What's the scariest part about trying to scheme up and game plan for a guy like him?
Well, I think, as I said earlier, I think Aaron Rodgers, and I think he's got elite arm strength. I mean, he can throw the ball way down the field, unbelievably accurate down the field. He can, buy time for guys to get down the field, with his elite pocket movement and running around. He's also a master of the little things. Snap count, his keeping guys, defenses from substituting, knowing what you're doing. I mean, he's a fantastic player, both with his arm, his legs, and his mind. And that to me is the trifecta when it comes to playing quarterback.
All right, guys, we have time for one or two more if there are any questions left. All right, Coach, we appreciate you taking time.
Thanks, man.